Welcome to the 40th chapter of the book of Genesis. We're going to continue with the story of Joseph in Egypt. In verse 1 it begins, Ageneto they meta ta rimata tafta, and it came to pass after these things, Imarten o archeino kus tu vasileos Aegyptu, the chief wine taster. Arche is chief, and the eno, vino, is wine. Kus, the chief wine taster. Vasileos, basil, basilica are derivatives. They sinned, or he sinned. Ke o archicito pios. There again, the arche and the cito, we have a parasite, has to do with, we get the word for wheat, and pios, pieo, a poet, a maker, a doer, chief baker. You can add these two into the English derivative books if you'd like. They're not included in there because English derivatives from the New Testament, and these only appear in the Old, these two words. And the chief baker, to kirio avton vasali Aegyptu, against their master, the king of Egypt. In verse 2, Ke orgisti Pharao epi tis thisin evnukis avtu. And Pharaoh was provoked to anger over his two eunuchs. Here we find not only Potiphar, but now these two men are eunuchs. Apparently most of the important people in Egypt around the Pharaoh were eunuchs to keep them away from the women. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not an Egyptologist. But it continues, epi ton archeino ho, ke epi to archicito pio, over the chief wine taster and over the chief baker. So the Pharaoh was angry over at these two men. Ke etheto avtus in philaki isto thesmotirion, is ton topon u Iosif apikto aki. And he put them under guard in the jail, into the place, topon, topography is a derivative, where Joseph had been taken away there, away from Potiphar. Potiphar put him there. Verse 4, Ke sinestesen o archidesmotis to Iosif aftus. And the chief jailer combined them to Joseph. Ke paresti aftus, and he stood beside them. They were still important men. Isen they imeris in tifilaki, and they were some days under guard. Doesn't say how many, but it's quite a while. Verse 5, Ke idon amphoteri enipnion in mia nikti. And both saw a dream, anip, neon, neep. We have hypno, is an English derivative of that word. And one nikti, nocturnal, is a derivative for that word. They both saw a dream in one night. Ide orasis to enipniu to archeinuhu ke archicitopiu isen to vasili Aegyptu. And the vision of the dream of the chief wine taster and the chief baker, the ones who were in the service to the king of Egypt, ontas in to thesmoterio in afti. The ones being in the jail was this. So they both had a dream. Verse 6. And now we get into the details. Isilthe they prosaftus Iosif toproi, and Joseph entered to them in the morning. Ke ethan aftus, and he saw them. Ke isen tetaragmani, and they were disturbed. Verse 7. Ke irota tus evnuchos Pharaoh, and he asked the eunuchs of Pharaoh, Isen medaf tu enti philaki, who were with him under guard, para to kirio aftu, by his master, and he was there because of his master. Legon, saying, Tioti ta prosopa imon skithropa. Why is it that your faces are looking downcast today? Simeron. Simeron. In verse 8, Ide ipen afto, and they said to him, Enip neon idomen. We saw a dream. Keo sing krinon afto ukestin, and the interpreting it is not. Continues, Ipe they aftis Iosif, and Joseph said to them, Uki diatutheu I diasaphisis afton esti. And Joseph said to them, 1 is 2 not, 3 the, 4 explanation, 5 of them, 6 through 7 God. Is not the explanation of them through God? The igisaste un me. Describe them then to me. It's interesting. He has been led to hear these dreams, and God apparently has imparted to him some type of a knowledge inside of himself that he realizes this. Verse 9, Ke the gisato o archeinohos to enipnion aftu to Iosif. And the chief wine taster described his dream to Joseph. Ke ipen, and he said, Into ipno mu in ampelos and antion mu. In my sleep there was a grapevine before me. Verse 10, And they ti ampelo tris pithmanes, and in the grapevine 3 lower branches. Ke afti thalusa ananinonkia vlastus pepire, and it flourished, offering mature buds. So in these lower branches, 3 lower branches, there are these buds coming out. Evotris staphylis, the clusters of the grape. Verse 11, Ke topotirion Pharao enti hiri mu, and the cup of Pharaoh was in my hand. Ke elavon tin staphylin, ke exethlipsa aftin is topotirion. And I took the grape cluster and squeezed it into the cup. Ke edoka topotirion is tin hira Pharao, and gave the cup into the hand of Pharaoh. In verse 12, Ke ipen afto Iosif, and Joseph said to him, Tuto I synkrisi saftu. This is the interpretation of it. I tris pithmanes, tris imere isin. The 3 lower branches are 3 days. Verse 13, Eti tris imere ke menisthesite Pharao tis archisu. In yet 3 days, and Pharaoh will remember your office. Ke apokatastisi se epi tin archiinuhuian su, and restore you to your office of chief wine taster. Ke dosis to potirion Pharao, and you will give the cup to Pharaoh. Istin hira aftu, kata tin arkin su, tin proteran, into his hand according to your former office. Os ista ino huun, as you were of the chief wine, you are the wine servers. In 14, alamanisti timu, the asiav tu, but remember me of yourself. Oten ev genite si, whenever good happens to you. Kpiesis met emu, and you shall be with me. Eleos, an act of mercy. Ke menisthesi periamu pros Pharao, and you shall remind Pharaoh concerning me. Ke exagakis me ektu okhiromatos tutu, and lead me from this fortress.